Good evening, everyone. Just in case I should correct Alex, I'm the CTO of the BANKEX Foundation, not the main BANKEX. BANKEX Foundation is a non-commercial stichting registered here in Netherlands. And what we do is 100% open source. Today I'm going to talk about the scaling problem on the blockchain, just for a little bit of context. I talk only about public blockchains and mainly Ethereum. For now, we base our solution for Ethereum. Later, we can bridge to EOS or Neo or any other public blockchain which we find fits our philosophy. A second requirement for the scaling solution I'm going to present, and is based on original Plasma protocol introduced by Vitalik and Joseph, I think last August or July, as the public blockchain it can be run on requires smart contract with quite involved functionality. And for now, we can only speed up some specific sets of transactions. Later on, we really hope that in 4 or 5 years, we can build fully Turing-full blockchain, scaled and bound to the root chain. But for now, I will only talk about transfer of value. So first of all, why it's a shift of trust? The shift of trust, we give some trust to one party. So we allow one party to produce the blocks for us. As we centralize all the data, all the processing, etc., we can speed up transaction a lot. Right now, our speed is 10K per second, really cheap, and we know how to scale further. We just don't need it. The second, we let every participant in such subnetwork to verify every block and every transaction. And so I know a few people mentioned Plasma earlier today. The main problem people should carry about in Plasma itself or similar subchains is not some invalid transactions which can be caught and verified. It's a data availability problem. If the operator of some subchain, off-chain, or how you do call it, just decides, OK, I will produce the blocks, but I will never show it to anyone, then you can do nothing with it. And this is the largest problem in Plasma and similar solutions. After it, we just guarantee that the supervision can be actually enforced. And to enforce it, we need a smart contract, which works like a supreme court. And such smart contract can only be run on a chain which is public, where no one has 100% authority or power of any kind. Well, at least unless you make 51% attack on proof of work. Yeah. To prevent cheating, you need some economical incentives, which are trivial. If you want to prove something, and if later you can be challenged or disproved, you should put some bonds. It's not that interesting. And the worst case scenario, we should always consider worst case scenario if something happens with such Plasma subchain operator. Let's say massive outage at the data centers, loss of everything, or we just decide, well, we don't want to produce blocks anymore. In the worst case scenarios, you lose time. You don't lose your money or assets or anything. You just lose your time. It takes 2 weeks to fix everything and move the assets back to the main chain. Well, what can go wrong in such subchain? Such subchain, the Plasma, is interaction between the user and the block producer, or who we call the master. The client can do only trivial thing. Client can try to double spend. Most likely, the client will never double spend in a Plasma chain or subchain itself, because the master or block producer can just prevent it. But the client can use the time difference between two subchains, well, the main chain and subchain, and spend in one, and try to move from one to another. So it should be prevented, but it's trivial. It's really trivial. But what can go wrong if the block producer does something not appropriate and misbehaves? Well, it's a long list. And the right construction should prevent all of this. And I think I missed the most difficult part, that the Plasma operator can just withhold the block and make some transactions, but never show it to you. If they're never shown to you, you can never verify them. So it should, at some point, be enforced that even if the operator misbehaves, everyone who behaved correctly before, and up to all the blocks which were available, and everyone could verify, this is a point of validity. Everyone who had some assets before this point can exit before something can happen with the blocks which never were shown. A little bit technical story involved late in the day, but I have to say it. It's the crucial part. So what's our current progress? OK. There are various options how you can construct such subchain. We focused for now on a construction which allows you to divide the value. So for some assets which are non-divisible, the construction is even much easier and much simpler to implement, which can be used in some areas. For example, I think logistics would be good. You never can divide your shipment container. Well, most likely you will not divide your shipment container. But for now, we focus on transfer of value. What we have right now is, I'd say, some numbers. 10K transactions per second, which are produced by the producer and verified by verifier. Yes, verifier requires some computational power, but we can do it, we know it, we tested it, and we can even do the public demo if necessary. The verifying client software is also non-trivial, but much more trivial than the server. The transaction cost is 0.5 cents, and we can push it lower after some optimization of the server side. It's purely economical value. It's a value which gives us some money to sustain the system, continue to develop, and at the same time cover just upkeep costs of servers, storage, and everything. OK, well, 3 data centers replication is the least we can do. So what can we do better? Yes, we can. First of all, we can try to work on privacy. For now, every transaction on most of the blockchains, I don't talk about the Zcash or Monero, blocks are available for everyone. Amounts transacted are public, so you can see who sent how much to someone, to what party. What we can do, we can hide the amounts. There's a very strong cryptographic protocol which allows us to do it. We just need the next fork of Ethereum to implement it and push it to our beta. For now, we don't focus on it, so I project the horizon 3 to 6 months after the next Ethereum fork, if everything goes well, so like 9 to 12 months. But we can do even better. We can make a solution which doesn't require a trust to an operator. To do it, you need some very advanced cryptography. Someone already mentioned it earlier today, ZK snarks. ZK snarks are a difficult philosophical topic. For now, they require what's called a trusted setup. So some parties come together, make some keys, and if no one has destroyed his part, they can come again together, reassemble the key, and falsify any transaction. I hope in 1 month there will be a paper published which can show the protocol how we can remove this part. But still, it's very difficult. It's even difficult in terms of computational power. For now, a lot of optimization should be done to do it. But I project 2 years of development for a first beta, or maybe even for a first production, we will see. So thank you. I try to be quick as possible. If you have some question, I don't know how much time we have left. OK, yeah.
OK, thank you, first of all. So any questions?
Yeah, a little bit too technical involved, sorry. OK, thank you.